Hello there, you're watching CNN News 18. I'm Maha Siddiqui. Adding to the devastation in Afghanistan, two blasts took place this evening. One outside the Hamid Karzai International Airport, another near the Baron Hotel, barely 2 kilometers from the airport itself. Several casualties are being reported, though no exact numbers are coming through right now. The media on the ground is reporting over 60 people being injured and rushed to emergency. This was an attack for which there was prior and very specific intelligence available. But despite that, due to the present chaotic situation on the ground, this tragedy could not be averted. The sufferings of the Afghans is only being compounded, this time by terror outfit ISIS, and the Taliban could do nothing because there is no security, no governance, no government in Kabul. News from Afghanistan, further updates coming in. 18 people have died after two suicide bombs in Kabul. One took place at the heavily populated Kabul airport, where people are looking to flee the country, while the second blast took place at the Baron Hotel in the city. Reports also suggest that 3 US soldiers have been wounded in the Kabul blast. US President Joe Biden has been briefed on the situation. He's currently in the Situation Room monitoring the latest development. Other NATO leaders have also been briefed. Reports suggest that ISIS involvement is suspected. Top intelligence sources tell CNN News 18 that ISIS has been threatening to bomb Kabul. Pakistan's involvement is also suggested and suspected. More details coming in. Government sources telling CNN News 18 that in the all-party meeting, the Indian government had said that they feared an ISIS-like attack on the Kabul airport. This is also coming through at the moment. We'll get more details on that in just a bit with Payal. But before that, let me quickly give you a sense of where the blast took place. First of all, this is the perimeter of the Kabul airport that you can see, the grey line over here. This inside, the portion inside, is being manned currently by the US forces. But outside the perimeter, there are no US troops there securing the boundary of the Kabul airport. What we are seeing is the roads reaching up to the airport, all having checkposts that are being manned by Taliban themselves. And it is here outside that the blast took place. The first one near the main entrance of the Hamid Karzai International Airport, and the other blast barely a few kilometers away, less than 2 kilometers away really from the airport, but about 5 kilometers away from the site of the first blast. This is the Baron Hotel, where the second blast has taken place this evening itself. Around 6:37 is when this blast took place. The Pentagon spokesperson put out the tweet saying that they can confirm that one explosion has taken place. Soon enough, there was another attack. And remember, just 12 hours ago, US, UK, Australia had put out near simultaneous, near identical advisories asking their citizens not to come to the Kabul airport unless and until they are given specific instructions to do so, because there was intelligence available of a specific intelligence rather of an attack, a terror attack outside the Kabul airport. Getting you more details, government sources have pointed out that in the all-party meeting today, where the political parties and the members of parliament were briefed by the government, the external affairs minister and the foreign secretary, they had said that they fear an ISIS-type attack at the Kabul airport. Payal Mehta is joining us with more details. Payal, what more information can you share?
What I'm going to understand that, one of the two, either the foreign minister or the foreign secretary, they were asked a specific question on, what they fear as far as India's is concerned, whether it is the Taliban or Pakistan hand, etc. To which, of course, they pointedly said that, of course, the biggest fear was ISIS, and the region is completely unstable, and that's one of the reasons the government specifically had said that they won't be really surprised if there is an ISIS style of attack at the Kabul airport. And, look at the developments, Maha. It's just been a couple of hours since that meeting really took place, and that was spoken, and within few hours of that, you see this blast really happening. So obviously the calculation of the Indian establishment, their reading of the situation really comes true as well, because you're seeing this ISIS style of attack that has really panned out as well. So obviously members had specifically asked this particular question, to which the Indian establishment has responded to this, clearly stating that they were of the fear that, such an attack would really take place at the Kabul airport itself. Because, there have been multiple checkpoints, people have been harassed, there have been all kind of gunshots, etc., which has been heard at the Kabul airport so far. But what we've seen today is, very, very sad scenes. Innocent citizens have lost their lives. Those people who were trying to, get away from violence-torn Taliban have otherwise had to pay with their life because somebody else decided to, do a foul play over here. Very, very sad state of affairs, but, correctly read by the Indian establishment, we must say, there over here.
All right, Payal Mehta, many thanks for getting us those details. Let me now go across to our guest, Vishnu Prakash, former diplomat, joining us here on the show. Major General Rajesh Arya, defense expert, also with us here. Vishnu Prakash, first to you, it's so painful for the Afghans. Clearly, despite all the claims being made by Taliban that they are going to take control of the situation, they clearly aren't, because the ISIS has been able to use this chaos to their advantage and conduct those terror strikes.
Maha, it is indeed a very sorry state of affairs. But, I will not try to come to a conclusion that the Taliban did not know. Let us see the message that is going out. The message that is going out is it's a frontal warning to the US and the allied countries that, look, we can cause trouble. You have to leave by the 31st of August. It's a warning. Now, normally when big powers are challenged like that, the reaction is very different. But what has happened, unfortunately, is that already the biggest power on earth has blinked. And Taliban sees that they do not have the will to fight any longer. They have the capacity, but not the will. Have you ever seen a situation where, now look at the situation, the US is controlling the airport, they are not even providing perimeter security.
That's right.
Afghans or the Taliban is taking care of the checkpoints. People are being harassed. People don't know what to do. Now, who are the sufferers? Who are the targets? Who are the victims? It is the hapless people of Afghanistan, while the powers play their, shrug their shoulders and pass blame on each other. But it is really a sorry state of affairs and just shows how things, the advantage or that Taliban is really calling the shots. Whether it's ISIS who has done it or Taliban, we do not know. But it is a turn of events which should not have happened.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely. And in fact, there has been concern, which India has expressed at the United Nations Security Council as well. The External Affairs Minister, not too long ago, just about some days ago, had told the United Nations Security Council very clearly that India is worried about Afghanistan turning into a terror hotbed, and that because they believe the Haqqani network is operational there, LET, Jaish-e-Mohammed, and that ISIS could take root once again in Afghanistan. Even though Joe Biden has been constantly stressing on the fact that the links between Al-Qaeda and Taliban are now diminishing, and the threat perception of any terror attack taking place originating from Afghanistan on the United States like 9/11 is highly diminished. But is that the case? Are links between Taliban and Al-Qaeda completely off? Major General Rajesh Arya, bringing you in here because the United Nations report last year had said that these links still remain, even though America wants us to believe that they are highly diminished. What is this kind of terror cocktail we are seeing in Afghanistan now?
Good evening, Maha.
Good evening.
First of all, we need to understand that the vacuum created in the land of Afghanistan by an unplanned and unorganized withdrawal by the allied forces is leaving that piece of land for all forms of Islamic terrorists to congregate there and revive their activities and try and gain supremacy over each other and amongst the Western world. So it has been a total miscalculation by the international community. It is a matter of great worry to India because the spillover of what is happening in Afghanistan is likely to fall in our neighborhood in Pakistan, because Pakistan, being the mother of the harboring Taliban forces is obviously going to face the brunt of it, which they would have not realized it at that particular time in the early 2000s, and therefore the situation in Afghanistan is going to be extremely, extremely volatile for the days and the months to come. It was expected then also, but it was not expected to happen so fast. What has happened, I fully agree with Mr. Vishnu, that this is a early indicators of the situation to happen in Afghanistan, what has happened on the Kabul airport today. And it is a very major international security scenario. And I will not be surprised in a couple of years, if not months, you will find international community looking back at Afghanistan to bring it under control to a certain level where we do not allow the international jihadi forces by any name, could be ISIS, Jaish, Taliban or Al-Qaeda resurfacing, is gaining ground in
all right.
Afghanistan.
Or Major,
So
but
that is
Arya,
the plan.
I'll hold you there. I'll hold you there because we have been getting information from the US. In fact, information that is coming in from the Pentagon itself suggesting that there could be at least 3 US troops that could be injured in that those blasts that have taken place. These were outside the Kabul airport, but perhaps the impact of the blast could have had an impact on those who were posted close to the perimeter wall. Remember, the US troops are inside the Kabul airport. They are manning and conducting the functions inside the airport. They are not outside, but all the roads leading up to the airport are being manned by Taliban. And today, during the briefing by the government to the members of parliament, in fact, the government specified that these checkposts are being manned by various militia groups. So nobody really knows who's in control of the situation in Kabul, what is happening on the ground. There are Taliban fighters on the ground as well who were so disconnected with the political leadership, because on the one hand, the political leadership in Kabul, Doha, kept on talking about how they want to negotiate, they do not want bloodshed, but on the ground, what did we see in Afghanistan? In the run-up to them taking over Kabul, there were violent scenes across all the provinces, all the provincial capitals that they took over. Vishnu Prakash, coming to you now. Joe Biden, in fact, has delayed his meeting, sir, with the Israeli Prime Minister, and he's in the Situation Room. He's being briefed about the situation. That is what we were hearing. Vishnu Prakash, also, US, UK, Australia had issued near simultaneous, near identical advisories 12 hours ago, asking their citizens not to come to the airport. They had clear, specific intelligence of a terror attack that could take place outside the Kabul airport. Why was it not acted upon, sir? Why could it not be averted?
Maha, as far as if you're asking me why the people did not pay heed, they are between the rock and the hard place. They don't know what to do. Their lives are not secure where they are. They cannot come to the airport. So what should they do? If you remember when President Biden was last addressing the nation, there was a question to say, I forget the name of the Afghan citizen, that such and such person and his family who are very vulnerable, they have to be brought out. So what will you do? He said they should come to the airport. Now, frankly, nobody is wanting to take responsibility because nobody can. You have given the initiative to the Taliban and they are calling the shots. Today, what we are hearing from different Western quarters is a narrative that may be right, may not be right, because we know that the goalposts have been shifted, things have been said, claims have been made which may or may not be correct. And President Biden is clearly under pressure. Even his address to the nation or his address to the G7 meeting was delayed by 4.5 hours. Every address is being delayed. But again, I'm coming to that when Taliban knows that there will be no cost, literally there will be no cost, where is the deterrent? That is the whole problem.
Major General Arya, I was also specifically talking about the intelligence inputs, which was so specific that the US, UK, Australian, all these governments were aware that there is a possibility of a terror strike right outside the Kabul airport. They want their citizens not to reach there and wait for any further specific information. Then why couldn't this be averted by the authorities? And by authorities, I mean that if America, if the CIA chief can have a secret meeting with the Taliban, why can't they bear upon the Taliban to have some sort of security outside the Kabul airport to prevent this kind of attack?
Maha, we need to understand, though we are far away from the actual scene, we need to understand who are the people who got affected by this blast and who had the intelligence of this imminent terror attack. I haven't heard on any of the media, both Indian as well as international, that any of the foreign nationals have got fatally injured or wounded or killed. Yes, there is a news coming in for 3 US soldiers being injured who must have been on the gate, because that blast was, as per the media, was closer to the gate or just outside the perimeter. The people who had the intelligence, their first priority would be to warn their citizens. They never said Afghans should not come. And the second thing we need to understand, who are these locals who are cramping the entrance of the gate of Kabul airport? They are those people who have somehow aligned with the allied forces and helping them do their job in the last 20 years, now who fear their identification and being eliminated by Taliban or other jihadi groups. And they are the ones whom these allied forces promised that they will evacuate them when they withdraw from here. You see, in the last show we just learned about that 17,000 contractors who are working as a support force for the American troops were the first one to flee out. So these are those people who were given hopes to be moved out of Afghanistan. They are the ones who are being scrutinized and being allowed one by one after checking whether they are the genuine people. Normal public is not there. It is that public which are aligned with the US forces or allied forces who were promised to flee out. And ISIS has given a very clear message. They are their enemies. They are enemies of Taliban. They are enemies of all jihadi groups. And that is where they carried out the blast.
All right.
There were no organized security forces outside the perimeter of Kabul airport which could have carried out frisking or searching, which would not have been possible in 12 hours of time.
That is correct. That is correct. Major General Arya, I'll interrupt you there. Both our guests are going to stay on with us. What Major General Arya has rightly pointed out, that mostly the people who probably would have been outside the perimeter wall of the Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul would be what is being described as allies and partners of these countries, the troops who were there in Afghanistan, those who had helped them and are now desperate to leave the country because they could be targeted by the Taliban. Remember, the Taliban checkposts leading up to the airport on all the roads are checking the identity, and they are not allowing Afghan citizens to leave the country. They have said that till the 31st of August, no Afghan citizen can leave Afghanistan. Only foreigners and others who are allies and partners, they are checking them and only then allowing them. So clearly this was an attack that was, the intelligence was available with the US definitely, because they had put out an advisory to their citizens. Despite that, it could not be averted. That's because Afghanistan is in chaos. There is chaos and uncertainty on the ground because there is no governance, there is no government 11 days after the Taliban took over Kabul. Taking a very quick break. We'll be back with a lot more. Stay with us.
Shame.